All right, welcome back. I just went over the mystery box, if you will, and this was one of the ones that was in there. I'm gonna do the AutoWorlds tonight. This is a truck that I got from a guy I buy locally here. I bought these three green lights, 4 or 5 M2s, this truck, and I know something else I have around here. I got those from him last night on a quick little run down the road. But and these two I found today at a Walmart that I used to stop in at all the time. They're a 2025 release. So, like I said, I like the AutoWorld. I like the quality of them. I was hoping that maybe these will be a little bit better roll quality than the other ones I've opened up in the past. They're for the most part pretty good, but I like to see how they're doing in 2025. I know the four-wheel drive trucks, I think there's just so much weight on this casting and there's enough meat on these tires. The one or two others besides this one I do have, they roll really well. So hopefully that'll be the same case for the lowrider square body, if you will, and this four-wheel drive. But we'll do, I'm not going to say these are one's better than the other. They're equally the same. But we will start off with, this is an 88 Chrysler Conquest TSI Turbo. This car, it resembles, or it may, at a first glance, it kind of resembles like a Toyota, I guess it'd be like a second-gen Supra, maybe a first-gen Supra. Amongst other things from a distance, like, first-gen RX-7, right? But I remember these cars a little. I don't know a whole lot about them, but what I was telling y'all about, they have these little fun facts right here, on the front. I'll read them off to you while I'm opening them up. So again, this is release 1, version B of this car. Paint code is 82520 San Marino Yellow. And it's release 1, 2025. Let's get a good shot of the back of the card for the rest of the series. I saw a guy open up this set on another video. Not the greatest release, but that F-150 was okay. It wasn't like, oh, I gotta have it. But if I find it, I'll buy it. So, according to AutoWorld, TSI stood for Turbo Sport Intercooled. This version offered a more performance-focused setup compared to the base model. The Conquest TSI was equipped with a limited slip differential, which helped distribute power to the rear wheels, which, not the greatest fact, but on some of these other cars, I noticed that some of the information on there is it's good to know. We learned about cars from being around them and people who owned them and magazines. I mean, I learned probably, I would say 30% of the stuff that I do know about any kind of car, no matter what year it was made, by reading magazines. I mean, that was our smartphone growing up, right? So here's the front of the card blank, just so I can get a decent look at it. Again, nothing too special. Probably a car no one really here cares about, but I'd give it a shot and give it a review. Not bad. I'm gonna try to get the license plate right. I did notice the other night that the Galaxies, they only offer it in 2 color variants besides the Ultra Red, which it's out there somewhere. But one of them says Outer, and the other model color variant says Space. And I did them out of order the other night when I opened them up, but I noticed that when I was going back watching the video. But this one says Requested, which is kind of neat. But what I really like about what they've done with this one is they had that like vinyl decal that may have actually been painted, the Conquest TSI. It's on the very back of that rear trunk lid. I'm going to get real close so y'all can get a good look at it. Hopefully it focuses in on it. I'm going to try to be real still. But may be able to pick up a license plate there too. Nice car. The interior on this thing has a lot of detail. It's got those real tall seats in it. This is nice. This is This is good to see in 2025 from AutoWorld. Here's the front. Passenger. Hopefully I'm getting the angle right, y'all. Bear with me. Driver. And the chassis shot. Ooh, that's shiny. That's legit. I mean, everything on this car. Cat, long tailpipe, twin tip muffler in the back. Nice finish on the aluminum. Really, really nice. No complaints there. So see, when you open up one like this, it'll make you really appreciate AutoWorld. Let's see if we can get the hood open. I'm assuming this car opens from the front. It may be a flip hood. Okay. Ooh. All right. Super detailed. This is a real treat. I'll try to get y'all the best shot I can. I'll hold it right here for a moment. Hopefully that's enough light and the angle's right. I'll tilt it down. It looks good in there. Let's check the roll quality. Okay, one more time. Not too bad. Little flat spot, it seems like on one of them. It's hard to tell which one it is. It's the driver front. Looks like it's just not really. Let's pull it off. We'll take 20 seconds to do this. I know I told y'all I was going to shorten these videos up, but just to put things into perspective for people who are just now learning about me and trying to, watch my videos, they may not have seen what I explained, I don't know, 5 or 10 videos ago, that you can kind of make do with fixing these things if you got a little patience. Yeah. It may take a little bit from being out of the package. I mean, it spins and rolls pretty good, by free spinning. And you don't really see much movement, but you can see this driver's front here. It's got a little, it may actually be the cut of the trail in the tire. Anyway, other than that, great example of AutoWorld. Really nice detail. Great casting. Very, very nice. Okay, we'll do I think this is Mitsubishi Eclipse. So I have the Talon, I have the Stels, I have that Conquest now. I'm seeing a trend that AutoWorld is picking up on all these, I wouldn't call them loser cars, but the cars that were a little less desired by certain folks, but appreciated by many, for the ones who did own them. This is also release 1 2025. 91 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX. So it's actually a pretty desirable model. Color version B, and the color of this one, paint code is 4204, Tennessee Blue. And it is pretty. Premium facts on this one. This is one that I picked up on today. 91 was the last year to pop up headlights, and I guess these cars got a facelift in 92. Tennessee Blue was technically not available on the 91 Eclipse, but instead was available on the Plymouth Laser. And I do remember those cars. I think I've seen 2, maybe 3 in my tire existence. That was like Chrysler's, I don't even know what to, it was almost like the Subaru SVX, or, it was kind of like the Eagle Talon. Eagle was a division of Dodge, Chrysler, I'm not real sure. That's why these cars look a lot alike. But the Plymouth Laser, I want to say, the school I went to, I told you my second grade teacher, she had a 92 or 3, like deep blue metallic Dodge Stealth. I want to say one of the other teachers or a counselor or somebody who parked near that car, one of them had a Plymouth Laser, and I want to say it was red. It was not a Mitsubishi Eclipse, because the 97, 8, 9, and 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, every girl wanted that car. I mean, that was a pretty desirable car in the late 90s. But nonetheless, let's jailbreak this thing and get a good look at this paint, because I know I'm dying to open up that that square body. Both of them now. Well, like I said, we'll try to make this one a reasonably short video. Lunch break edition. That's what I should call it. Not everybody gets the luxury of having a longest lunch like I like to do for myself. There's the blank card. Okay, paint looks really good. It's got the actual, like a decal on the rear window for the rear window defrost. Very nice touch. Black 6-spoke wheels. Tennessee blue on the license plate, TNBLUE. Again, very nice job, AutoWorld. Gotta love it. And that's the little, I'm sure it's a little 16 valve twin cam 4-banger. I can't remember what motors in these things. Probably a 2-liter or 2.4 maybe. But really nice. I'll open the hood back up. There's a rear shot. Front. Passenger. Paint is just awesome on this car. I'll let y'all look at that rear defroster on the rear window. Driver. See if we can get a little light pickup on that hood for the color. Undercarriage chassis shots, a lot like that other one. Really beautiful, like sealed finish on the aluminum. It's not chalky like some of them have been. Not overly shiny or polished. Just right. And under the hood is definitely no disappointment, just like this Chrysler Conquest we just looked at. AutoWorld's hoods do have a nice fixed stay point on them, if you will. At least in my experience. I'll start there. Go there. And there. I'm not sure what kind of good. It's hard for me to tell what you guys are looking at until I go back and watch the video. So, again, as I progress, I'll get a real camera, a mic, so I'm not having to talk like I'm talking in a safety meeting. Those of you who know me occupationally, you'll know exactly what that means. Nice. Let's check the roll quality. A little better. Not perfect, but 7.5 out of 10. But I'm not sure which one I like more. They're both nice. Okay. Let's do the gift truck. I was telling y'all that this one had a cowl hood. The other ones I have don't have that feature. And as most of you know, I do love Squarebodies just like every other good old boy in Southeast Texas. But I have a deep fascination with the K5 Blazers because I actually own one. That was my first truck. At some point, whenever I find my album, it's in this office somewhere. I have a labor of love for that truck for good reason. And I'll explain that in the video I'll show y'all later. But very fond connection to a 77 to a 79 Blazer. And really any Squarebody Chevy because I rode in plenty of them. My dad owned a few of them. All my friends had them. I mean, hell, even my friends now, they still have them, right? But this fun fact for this truck, it's the Silverado was a separate model until 1999. Before that, it was merely a trim level in the Chevy truck lineup. Medium blue is a GM color available on various vehicles from 1970 to 1990. Medium blue, paint code 2188. This is an 81 Chevrolet Stepside. This is Release 3, version A. And this is a 2024 truck. I know I just showed this truck in a video, and I kind of skipped a step on this one. I apologize for those of you who have not seen that video yet. But we'll get this thing out, check it out. This is going to be a real treat. The only thing that I maybe would comment on this actual casting from AutoWorld in relation to like the M2s, I love it and it's great, but the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive casting that's stock height, if you will, from AutoWorld is next to perfect. I mean, the undercarriage is beautiful on these trucks, all of them. But the only thing I don't like about how they have to do this casting is when it's sitting in front of you up on a display like that, it gets that goofish Hot Wheels, toyish look. See how you see the front pumpkin sticking down, but the overall height of that casting, is just one big chunk. I know it's a little more work to do like what M2 does, but that would probably be my only real complaint about the AutoWorld square body casting. And you can kind of see that whenever you look at it from the side. You can see the bulge of the actual casting. Doesn't look too realistic. It still looks really good from 2 or 3 feet away, but a true critiquer, and an avid car fanatic like myself, it's just little things like that. It's just like something being out of scale. If you have a lot of vehicles that are all together and one is seriously out of scale, whether it's over or under, you just notice it right away, and it kind of turns you off. Again, I'm digging down in the weeds and scraping sea moss off the surface, if you will, but this is still a really nice truck, just like all the rest of them are. Chevy 350, I'm sure. Possibly a 305. It's kind of hard to tell. And, it doesn't tell you on the card information, but... And like I said, what I do love about the AutoWorld square bodies is they have an open tailgate, even on the step side variants, which is nice. Because they could have just selected to go, no, fleet size get the folding tailgate. It's too hard to do on the step sides, but no, they came in clutch, and they actually have it to where you can put it where, like if you remove the tailgate cables and you had to use it more as a ramp, you could do that too. Which I would not recommend doing that in real life on anything heavy, because you're only relying on, for one, not ruining your paint finish, and two, you don't have cables for the weight support. But this is a nice truck. Very nice. Plate on this one says Appalachia, which I'm assuming is Appalachian Mountains. Let me see if we can get that. Maybe I can barely see it. Wasn't ever too fond of this grill. I thought it was 80 only, but apparently it was 81 only. And now that I think about it, one of the square bodies my dad did have, I was probably 6 after my parents split up. He had a 81. It was a GMC, and it was a stick. I think it was a standard, but it may have been an automatic. I think it was a stick. It was custom, the base model. And good Lord, that truck was hideous. It was primer black, fairly straight overall. The interior was just, it was steel floor, no vinyl, no carpet. I want to say it had like remember the old, probably $15.99 saddle blanket style seat covers you get at the parts house, long before Rogers was around. That's what was on that truck. I remember that distinctively. But he didn't have it very long, but every time I see this grill, that image just comes into my head of that truck. I mean, every single time, whether I see it in a model, a truck passing me by like that on the road, in a magazine picture, a video on YouTube, or an old show from 80s or 90s, it brings back a lot of good memories. White interior. And I noticed something the other day too on a couple of these. This truck is no exception. Instead of having a full bench like you would normally see in these trucks, it looks like it has low back Blazer buckets with a Blazer console, which is cool, but that's definitely a custom touch, because I don't ever remember any of these trucks coming with that setup inside. But undercarriage looks really good, and it does look the part with the leaf springs, front and rear, and big cross member for the transmission and the transfer case. Can't complain about that, but just the way they have this casting designed is, I feel there's some room for improvement. Just my opinion. But very nice color, very nice truck. These trucks roll really well because the weight of the casting, and AutoWorld's rubber is super impressive on these larger diameter tires. So I mean, this thing, it rolls like a Hot Wheels Premium. So definitely a nice truck for the desk. Definitely one for the display. Again, looking from overhead, you can't even see what I was talking about, you know, on that down there. But who's really going to pick that apart? I mean, to the 6 or 7 out of 10 people who just know enough. Oh, it's a Chevy truck. That's nice. I like that. It's pretty. It's blue. You know. Oh, it's step side. That's nice. My uncle had, etc. Right. But again, I'm just trying to point out what I see and what I feel and what I think, and just trying to let you guys know before you start adding to cart or, you know, buying a bunch of these and getting them out and going, man, okay, now I see it. So, but still, very nice truck. Very happy to add that to my collection. Okay, the one we've all been waiting for. This is a, I think this is like a show special or something, or it may have been like a exclusive to something. Weekend of Wheels, Nuclear Mines, House of Cars. There's all kinds of stamping on this one. I'm not real sure where he got it. We were chatting about it, and he was drawing a bunch of blanks because he's got so many hanging on the wall. I was actually surprised he gave this truck up. Nonetheless, I'm glad to have it. I'll be a great caretaker for it. And I did, full disclosure, tell him I was going to skin his drawers off and jailbreak it. So here we go. This is 2023 is what it says on here. It has a day on this proof of purchase for 1923, which I'm assuming is the same thing on the bottom of the truck. But I don't know what year. Oh, 83 Chevy Silverado. Where I grew up, the lowrider scene was not like Los Angeles, California. You know, in Brazoria County, Texas. For those of you who know B County. The lowrider scene was not like hopping, but I was around plenty of the cars that had that flavor. So I kind of relive a lot of things that were good in my life, and I remember, you know, if you couldn't afford to put a wild paint job on one of these Squarebodies or an 88 to 98, you know, Chevrolet OBS, you would definitely slam it on the ground. And if you couldn't afford Colorado Customs or some Budnicks or, you know, something like that, you throw some Steelies on it, man, with some center caps, it'd be a done deal. That was good enough, you know, just like today. Plate says 1983. Again, open and tailgate. This is a really pretty truck. This one has that, you know, bucket seat console interior, which is really cool. It's nice. Let's see what's under the hood. Chevy small block. But let's get a real good look at this truck. I may even show it to y'all a couple times. This thing is so worthy of being outside that package. And it's okay. Like I said, I don't buy these things for investments. You know, I keep the chases in there because that's about the only thing, in my opinion, that really moves, you know, besides these square bodies. But, you know, when you buy them for you to enjoy, and you don't worry about flipping them or trading them or reselling them later. At least I don't. The chases I keep, you know, just because, again, if I just decide to go a different route, I know those things can move pretty quick. And I won't have no problem getting rid of them. But, man, the color of this interior, get y'all a look at the windshield. It looks a little too bright for this paint scheme, but when you start looking at it under the light, it fits the truck for sure. Again, hopefully I'm not too close. I'm trying to get a little closer on this one just so y'all can see the detail. Show you on the front. Let's get a little paint flop under the light. I saw one of these tires out around pretty bad. It's probably not going to roll that great, but we can work on that off camera. This one will be going to work tomorrow just because it's so nice. And I might actually take the blue one with it too. Oh man, look at that. It's a drift truck. It don't roll. May have to kind of play with this one a little bit. I don't think it's not one of those ones that's not meant to roll. I think there's just such a high spot in the driver front. It looks like the passenger rear. Nonetheless, I'll play with that and mess with it. Let's see if it straightens out. But it looks good. I mean, she's shined up, ready to go to town, man. She's ready to go to the car show and start banging some music and, you know, probably have a few Colts vases in the bed. Not for me anymore, but, you know, let everybody have a good time. This is it. This is a nice one. All right, so we'll knock that one off for tonight. Hopefully it wasn't, but I didn't check the timer, but should have been a little shorter than the one I just posted. We'll do green light and probably M2 tomorrow, and I will finally make some kind of decision. There is something I want to show you on this Blazer. So when I do the M2s, it'll definitely probably be this one getting opened and maybe this OBS down here, because I don't think I have one of those out. I'm still keeping the Blazers that come in cubes. In cubes, I have a few loose up there that were in the zip, you know, packaging like this that M2 does, like this right here. But we'll get to that later. So next video will be M2, or it'll be a few of the green lights I have here, and I'm sure I'll get something else to open up. But that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. This is why I need to buy a camera.